This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. Well, hello, Kansas City. It is Monday, August 13th, and I got some things to report from our first preseason game, and really none of them very good, unfortunately. But this is game one of the preseason, and we have a lot of football to go. We had a huge offensive line breakdown, which pretty much was the story of our first string, along with a lot of defensive breakdowns as far as rushing and passing. We kind of looked terrible out there. I'm really disappointed in how things turned out and the progression of our offensive line. They really need to get things together because I can't really say anything about Mahomes because he really just did not have a chance. Although he completed passes to Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, it just didn't really look good for us. We couldn't really get points on the board. Through the first and second quarter, we scored there late in the first half, and it just looked like kind of a slow start for the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a lot of pressure on them, and I understand that, and I hope Chiefs Kingdom does as well. But there are some notable things. The passing yards, we had 221 passing yards, and they went 26 for 42 in a combined effort between three different quarterbacks. We averaged 4.5 yards per play and had 73 rushing yards. 7 penalties. That kind of killed us. The penalties were big. We got to neutralize those penalties. And also we went 0-2 in the red zone. We, that's how we lost the game right there. So those red zone, the potential we have in the red zone, when we get there, we need to put points on the board. An interception. We had an interception. I believe it was Chad Henne who threw that interception. It's just a really slow start, Kansas City, and I don't think any of us expected that. But we're also not really throwing a package out there, that we're going to throw out in the regular season. And also, there was a lot of passing attempts, and not really too much rushing. When you're throwing the ball, 42 times in a game, that's a lot of passing attempts. So we're really trying to get a feel of the backup passing game, and it looks like Chad Henne is really going to lock that in. He had a beautiful touchdown to DeMarcus Robinson in the back of the end zone, and he just floated it right in there. It really was perfect. And I enjoyed seeing that. So, the confidence that Chad Henne has, he's a veteran. He's been around the league a long time. So I like seeing what he can do. That just kind of let me know that if anything happens to Mahomes, and God willing that won't happen, that Chad Henne can step in and get the job done. We needed that veteran leadership behind him, and I'm excited that he's looking good. We had a chance to win the game in the last few seconds and just couldn't get it done. As time was winding down in the last minute, we, had a 4th down and goal, and, we threw the ball to the back of the end zone, and the tight end just could not pull it in. He had a great look, too. Game one preseason, I don't want to get too stuck on it. It's obviously it's not what we expected. It's not what we wanted to see. But it just, the O-line breakdown killed Mahomes. He didn't even have a chance, folks. He was pressured 4 times, sacked once. The little shuffle pass that didn't work out, it was just pressure from start to finish for him. And it really wasn't a fair outlook for the guy. I really don't like how this first preseason game started out. But it's okay because we have 3 more games. We have a lot more time to progress. And also, at the same time, we went against the Texans defense that's really good. The Texans all around are a great team, so I don't want to take away from the Texans organization and what they have going on. It's the NFL, and you guys have to expect everybody bringing their best out onto the table, and we'll just move forward and look to next week, and we'll see what happens. All around, it was just terrible for our starters. But we are a group that's really going to have to come together because there's a lot of new pieces, and we all know that there's going to be growing pains. But I don't really look for this to last into the regular season. I hope we knock the rust off here in the preseason and get all of those issues out of the way extremely early. I'm on the road here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm sitting beachside, and, I didn't make it to the game. I wish I could have been there. But I like the beach. I like the beach, and I'm sure none of y'all can blame me on that. I keep saying that Chad Henne looked great. He really did. Demarcus Robinson looked good. I like seeing Travis Kelce get the ball and kind of stretch the legs of the defender and get the first down. It really was one of those things where the offense really didn't have a chance to get any momentum to even get started. So don't let that make you nervous, Kansas City. This is just game one of the preseason, and 2 series, no points, a bunch of pressure, no real running attack. We just we didn't really show a whole lot, but I don't think that we broke open the playbook at all either. We're just doing little simple dump passes, trying to do shuffle passes, handing the ball off. It really just was a standard offense. So I look for that to get better. Our defense, they have to step up too. But look, we're not throwing packages at the Texans like we would in the regular season, and I want you all to understand that. And maybe the Texans were coming at us with their offensive playbook for the season, which isn't really a smart idea. But look, they were open, they were making plays, they were running. We could not stop them, and they did everything to stop us. Luckily Mahomes didn't get hurt, because our O-line just looked terrible. It looked terrible, and I hate to see that. They better step it up. It's one of those things that we're really, really going to have to progress through this preseason to make sure everything goes smooth. An injury report, Eric Berry went out with a heel injury. Tardif, he went out as well. And I'm just... I'm a little bit worried about what's going on with the injury report, and I wish I had this written down in front of me because there's more. Charkandrick West is still sitting out with a concussion, and it's one of those things that we just had breakdowns all around. Houston came at us tough. It looked like they were trying to knock as many starters out as possible. They were hitting hard. They weren't playing like it was a preseason game. And, you look around the rest of the AFC West, and the Raiders look good. Chargers looked decent. And, I don't know. I don't know about the Broncos. I didn't really catch that game. But all of these breakdowns that we had are crucial, critical errors, and we better get it together. This is a hyped-up season. There's a lot of pressure on our Kansas City Chiefs. So it starts with the offensive line. The offensive line needs to step it up. The defensive line needs to step it up. D-backs, linebackers. But it was just 2 series. You can't really get any progression going with 2 series under your belt the first game of the season. So just keep that mentality, Kansas City. We know what our Chiefs can do. We know who our Chiefs are. It wasn't a mistake to get rid of Alex Smith and go ahead and let Patrick Mahomes take over. But it's a young team. We added some key veteran pieces, and everybody just needs to step to the plate. And I promise you, the intensity in practice this week is probably going to be more than it ever been in its life. I know that locker room is furious right now. All those leaders and those key pieces are really, really coming down on themselves and the entire team. So look for this progression to happen. Look for everything to step up and really just mend together, because that's what needs to happen. The growing pains are going to happen. That's just one of those things that comes with football and putting all these new pieces together at the Kansas City Chiefs organization. I know Big Red isn't happy. There can't be any part of the coaching staff that is happy about this situation, but it's going to be okay. Just keep the faith, Kansas City. Keep supporting our Chiefs. We always do, no matter what the outcome is. It's going to be a great year. And just remember, this is the first game of preseason, so just keep your faith, Kansas City. It's going to be just fine. The next game is Friday in Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons at 7 p.m. And, keep your eyes on that game. I'm sure our starters will stay in a little longer. And it's really time for Andy Reid to bring the hammer down on this team and tell them to get it together. Get it together, Kansas City. It's still looking good. It's still looking good. Just remember that we have a lot of new pieces, Kansas City, and it's going to be okay. Keep your head up. Get out there, support your Chiefs. Let's watch the game here coming up on Friday and see what progression happens. The O-line promised that they were going to step it up this week and really, really, really come down on each other and support each other and lean on each other because we need this offensive line. Yes, Mahomes can scramble. Yes, Mahomes can throw. But if Mahomes can't even get his 3-step or 5-step drop, what are we going to do? He has no chance. That's not his fault. So Kansas City, do not put this on Mahomes. Mahomes looked terrible because of the offensive line, not because of Mahomes. When he had a chance, he threw the ball great. So just remember that. Always keep that in mind, Kansas City. We're meshing. We still have 3 more weeks of preseason, and I promise you Andy Reid is going to work these guys into the ground if they don't get it together, because Andy Reid is a precise coach and he likes precision, and if you are not a precise player, it is the next man up. So we will be all right. And, I'm putting conviction and confidence in my voice because, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in what's going on right now. But Andy Reid has got this. He's a quarterback coach. He's a man who knows what he's doing. We have a great, great, great organization. We have a great coaching staff. So do not get down on this. It's going to be all right, Kansas City. It's going to be all right. Stay hyped. Stay hyped. This is just game 1. But I am going to sign off. I am in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm going to enjoy this weather and look forward to this game on Friday, Kansas City. So, look, this is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs.